So just to make sure that you're in the right room, this is the resource for caregivers of younger adults. These are going to be our speakers today. We have Daniel Lichty with the Developmental Disabilities Services. Jennifer Randall is with the Developmental Disabilities Council of Oklahoma. Renee Sansom Briscoe with Oklahoma Rehabilitation Services. Jose Alvaro from Social Security Administration, and Julie Lackey from Lead, Learn, Live. Just wanted to remind you that we're going to have a gift card drawing at the end of this session, so you'll need to be present to be able to win that. There is the closed caption option in this session. You can activate that at the bottom part of your screen. We are going to send out a conference evaluation in email, and we are going to have several gift cards and items in that drawing as well. So please complete that whenever you receive it. So we'll go ahead and get started. I know we're running a little bit behind schedule. So we're going to have Daniel Lichty go up first, and he's going to just share his name and introduce himself.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Daniel Lichty. I work with Developmental Disability Services, part of DHS. We're one of the many agencies under DHS. And so I was going to talk to you a little bit about the different services that we have available for young adults, and that might be beneficial. We have 4 main programs. The Home and Community Bound Waiver Service. That's commonly referred to as the big program. It's where the waiting list, where if you hear the waiting list, that's where that exists. And so that's those programs. And I'll get what those are. We also have state funded services. And we have family support assistance payment and also respite program. The Home and Community Bound Waiver Service program. Our main program is the in-home support waiver. When someone comes off the waiting list initially, we evaluate them for in-home waiver services. And there's 2 different waivers, one for children, one for adults. And that's primarily because under age of 18, Medicaid pays for many programs so DDS does not need to cover those programs. For children, there's habilitation training services. That would be like a direct carrier that would work with the individual on skill building, respite care, family training, environmental adaptation. So if someone needs to have adaptations to their home, a lift or anything like that can help with that. Adults typically can receive more services are available if they need them, including homemaker services, respite, habilitation services, vocational services, environmental adaptations, family training equipment, nutritional, OT, PT, audiology, speech language therapy, psychological and psychiatric services, if they are needed. Our services are different. I mean, there has to be a need for a service for us to provide a service. So if someone doesn't need nutritional services, then we wouldn't provide that to that person. So kind of based on each and everyone's, personal, what they need. The family support assistance payment, it provides a $250 per month payment towards a child that the family can use however they deem necessary for the child. They can receive a $50 extra per qualifying child in the household for a maximum of $400. And they can spend that however they deem necessary. At the end of the year, when they do a renewal, they do have to turn in a report how they spent the money. It is income-based. A household must make less than $45,000 per year, and it is income verified. And they do require documentation to verify the disability. The RESPA program is also verified by income. It's the income level is a little bit higher, so 75,000 per year or less is what's required. And again, they do verify the income and they do verify the disability. What respite is they provide vouchers, quarterly vouchers that can be used in exchange for respite, and the vouchers will become void if not used within 90 days. So if we issue a set of vouchers and if someone does not use it, then they can then those vouchers will eventually become void. The community waiver services, that is traditionally services not in someone's either individual home or family home. That would be in either a traditional group home, which is a 6-bed bed in the community. And there's also daily living support homes. Those are 3 to 4 bedroom homes in the community, and those typically have 24-hour supports. Those are generally for individuals who have higher level of need. State funded services, there is a state funded services is that's not part of a waiver service program. That is, as that is independent of that. A lot of our people who are waiting for waiver services do receive state funded services, such as community integrated employment services, sheltered workshop, group home, assisted living in their own home. They are required to have a full scale IQ under 75, and we do require documentation to verify that. Medicaid will pay for a psychological evaluation until the age of 20. After 20, the individual will need a private pay for that service. Individuals who are 18 to 26 years old are required to apply with the Department of Rehabilitation Services first before they can utilize state funded services, because DDS programs are the last in the state for state dollars. So, a lot of times when children are coming out of school, graduating school, this is where we try to direct them towards for services, is either community integrated employment or sheltered workshop, depending on their ability level. How to apply for services, and also to see other services, what's available. We do have a website. I included a link to that. So you can, if you want to, you're more than welcome to go check out the link and kind of see what services are available, see if there's something that would benefit your child. And then you can send an application. A link to application is available there. Now, if you try to get the application from online, you do need to have the latest version of Adobe, otherwise it will not work. So some people will have a hard time getting the application off of there off of the website, because they do not have the latest version of Adobe. And if you do have a problem with that, you can simply email one of the areas, depending on where you live. The DDS is broken up into 3 different areas, and each area, one of that's broken down to Northeast Oklahoma, Northwest Oklahoma, and Southern Oklahoma. And I have a map at the end of the last slide that will show you the breakdown of the slides. So if they send out a copy of the slides, you'll be able to see what counties are covered in what areas, so you know who to call, where to email. And also I provide the phone number for each area. Each of those will go towards the intake. Intake is who takes the applications, and intake also helps people get off the waiting list. Intake gets people approved for state funded services. And so if that's what you're needing, then you would want to contact intake to help to get that started. I always tell, when people ask when should they think about applying for services, just as soon as you think your child needs in-home services, or will need supports for employment, that's when you would want to apply, because the waiting list is quite long. And so I would encourage you to apply. And a lot of times when you talk to us, we can think of different resources and avenues that your child can use instead of waiting, or while they're waiting. If you have any information for myself, my contact information is below. I'll give my phone number, my email. Feel free to call or email me if you have any questions at all. And then at the last, this is how the DDS is broken up in the state. You can see the area 1 is basically roughly I-35 west and I-40 north. And so you can see how each area is broken up. So you can look at what county you live in, and then what area office you would want to contact. If you happen to contact one of the other area offices, we will help you. We'll help you, and then just direct you to the right office whenever you send in the application. So we won't, we will make sure to do that. So that's all the slides I had. Did anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Daniel. I don't see any questions in the chat, but we will be sharing the PowerPoints and information on the okcares.org website. So you can always reach back out and get the slides there or any additional information.
Okay.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Jen Rendell with Developmental Disabilities Council of Oklahoma, and she's going to tell about their program.
Thanks, Eva. And good to meet you, Daniel. I don't think met you before. So I'll have to get over there and meet you in person. So the Developmental Disabilities Council is a small state agency, but I always kind of think that we're kind of mighty. Maybe that's in my head, but I think we do good stuff. So, and I'm just going to share a little bit about some of the projects and things that we do, but a little bit of background. There is a DD Council or Developmental Disabilities Council in every state and territory. So there's 56 of us out here, and we are charged really with every year we get a federal grant awarded to us to look at services and systems in our state. And when we see there's gaps in that, we try to come up with some really creative and innovative projects to help with those gaps. We have a 5-year plan that our governing board that's governor appointed will do a lot of research with the staff and come up with our 5-year plan. So I really thought I should have probably added our, okay, why am I not going to the next slide? There we go. Added our 5-year plan in here, but I can always send it to Eva and get it to you guys. I think we have a great 5-year plan. I think we really listened well to our listening sessions, and hopefully we can do more throughout the years just to keep in touch with what our families and self-advocates need. So these next few slides will just kind of give you maybe some ideas of things that we do. Please, I always like more interactive presentations. So if you have a question or you're like, oh, wait, what about this? Please let me know. But we do a lot of awareness training and outreach, different programs around the state, such as we might do some person-centered thinking training, which is all about understanding understanding what's important to someone and what's important for someone, then understanding that balance. And once we know that, then how do we support that? We do a lot of charting the life course training. We might do disability etiquette, respectful communication trainings, advocacy skills. We can always create trainings for you guys. Just give us a buzz. So again, so we get a federal award every year. And so that allows us to have program funding. So we might create projects and work with a lot of different agencies and organizations to help us towards our 5-year plan goals. Some of our past projects, as I've mentioned, we've worked with early access, autism screenings. We helped SIB shops really get started, supporting parents with a disability. Tech Now, we've done conference support. So we've supported the Transition Institute. And I specifically kind of put Dream Night at the Zoo because I find that a lot of times people don't know about Dream Night at the Zoo, which is sort of in a way by design. It is a special night, usually the first Friday night in June. The past couple of years, well, you know, COVID's messed everything up. So the zoo has pushed it to September, but usually it's the first Friday night in June, rain or shine. And it's just a free night for families who have a child with a disability to go to the zoo and just have a night for you guys. The Oklahoma City Zoo provides free admission. They provide meal, so you get dinner while you're there. All the rides, everything is there is free. And then on the way out, they usually have some sort of token or something, or a stuffed animal or something to help you remember your night. It's really a cool night. The reason why, if you haven't heard of it, is the zoo does not want this to be a marketing thing. They only want it to be for families. So they don't call the media, things like that. They just want a nice night. If you don't get the cards, if you don't know about this, you're not on our mailing list, all you have to do is send me an email. We can add you to our mailing list, and then you'll get a card. When we get them, we send them out to our mailing list, and they'll have all the directions on how to RSVP. So if you know a family or that would really benefit, let us know. We'd love to get them on there. We have a small library, about 1,500 books, resources, videos. It has moved locations because now we are more remote. We have closed our physical office. So it is residing on the Oklahoma Health Sciences Center in Oklahoma City campus, the Robert M. Byrd Library. And we are working with them to create some marketing devices and things so that you can find it easier, but it's up on the 3rd floor. Be sure to check it out if you need some specific books, for sure. The next couple of slides are about a couple of advocacy programs that the DD Council is really known for. Both programs, our Partners in Policymaking and our Youth Leadership Forum, are national programs designed on a national curriculum. Each state kind of tweaks each program how they want. But we have the same curriculum, the same goals. We may just have different speakers. We may add in a goal. But Partners in Policymaking, I know I took it, and actually Eva, it's kind of fun. Eva was in my class when we took it way back in, oh goodness, 2000, I'm gonna out you out, Eva, 2004, I think, 2004, 2005, that school year. But it is an 8-weekend disability advocacy training. We meet, we're kind of going through a little bit of transition, and we're looking at maybe a Friday night and Saturday, but it's a full weekend. So it's a big time commitment, which, you know, we're hoping to maybe do some virtual and things to make it easier. But we bring in the best speakers for everyone to learn from, for our parents who have a child with a disability, or adults with disabilities, and professionals. I took it coming as a special education teacher. And oh my goodness, I know every weekend, it always got my brain going, oh my gosh, what about this? What about this? You can ask Eva, you know, or any of our graduates. It really gets you some skills and a knowledge to really help you just be a better advocate for your loved one, for yourself, for your family. We talk about how to become a better advocate and be able to be a partner with your legislator or any policymaker, whether that's the mayor or a different committee or something like that, really to make that systems change. Definitely check it out. We're on Facebook at the @ OKPIP, and then our website there. You can get more information. We have a video. You can apply right online. These pictures are just some of our pictures from partners and some of our students. The 2 young men with the guy from the Hornets, when the Hornets used to be in Oklahoma City, did a community project for our partners project, and they connected with the Hornets to do it. So it was really pretty cool. So just making change and helping them understand people with disabilities a little bit better. I was going to put Eva on the spot and ask her who her favorite speaker was, but I won't make her. But you guys can make her.
Kathy Snow. That didn't take me long.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Kathy Snow. Nice. I will definitely, if you've not heard of Kathy Snow, check out our website, Disability is Natural. And our library actually has her book. So definitely check her out. The Youth Leadership Forum, I want to say I'm a little bit more partial to, but probably not, because I started at Partners. I've just been working the past many years with the Youth Leadership Forum, and it is a 5-day leadership. I like to call it a camp, held every summer for our high school students with disabilities. And really, it's just a 5-day experience for them to really get away. We stay right on hopefully. The past 2 years, we've done it virtually. We're hoping to get back on the college campus, let parents drop them off, and then we're going to kick you guys out because we just want to spend 5 days with them, really talking about life after high school. We introduce them just like Partners introduces us to people and help us really think about issues. We're going to do the same thing with our young adults. We're going to bring in people from out of state, in state, who also have a disability, because that's kind of by design. It's leadership by example. We'll bring in our graduates of our program and help them learn from them. Again, these are just some of our pictures from our camp. Our website has a ton more pictures, couple broken links that we're trying to fix. But the application's right online. We also, the application, if that doesn't work, just call and you guys can tell us the answer and we'll type them in for you. The essay work, you can do a video. We don't really care how we get our answers as long as we get them. So don't let the word essay scare someone off or, or references. We'll figure it out together. We just want to really spend that time with them. And just like Partners, so Partners, we will do a mock legislative testimony with legislators, so you really understand how to tell your story and help educate our legislators. Our youth leadership forum will go to the Capitol and do a debate in the House. Well, hopefully in the House chamber. If the construction gets done, we'll be there somewhere to do a mock legislative debate, but that's always fun to let them really see what it's like and feel what it's like to be a legislator and to understand that whole process, and that they can call their legislators too, just like adults. We want them to start learning how to do that because we all have to educate them. They see, I think I've heard at one point, sometimes maybe 3,000 bills. There's no way they can be the expert on all those bills. That's where we come in the play. And so we really want them to understand how to connect with their legislators and not to be afraid. Our council has a Facebook and Twitter page, as well as, like I said, the Partners has a Facebook page. Our YLF has a Facebook page. Our Twitter, YLF also has an Instagram. Just trying to connect to different audiences. Young adults have different things that they like. Trying to decide if we do some TikTok videos. So if any of you guys have ever done TikTok, let me know, because I'd like to maybe try that. But definitely let us help if you have questions, you're not quite sure who to connect to. Let us know. As Daniel was talking about the different waivers, I remembered a resource that I'm going to put the link in for you guys. That is the Oklahoma Guide to Community Services. You can download that, free download. That's done by, again, our Center for Learning and Leadership. And it's just a good little book that gives you information like what Daniel had mentioned about the waiting list, or if you're not sure what kind of services might I get, it has some of those ideas just to help. So give us a call. I hope I didn't go over my minutes.
Thank you, Jen. That was great information, and thank you for sharing the Guide to Community Services as well. I appreciate you stopping on today and waiting, since we were a little bit delayed getting started, so thank you. Next up, we have Renee Sansom Briscoe with the Oklahoma Rehabilitation Services. And I think she is traveling. So I am going to try to pull up her slides while she's unmuting. But I may have trouble doing that because I've been hosting the main webinar on my work computer, and I'm on my personal computer now. So Renee, I may be having trouble. I'm sorry, because I've still got the other one going, and I'm really proud of my internet here today because it's going right along, but I'm having trouble. I don't have them on this computer. So will you be able to just briefly share about your services?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we can always share the PowerPoint. That's not a problem. The main thing I want to talk about is DRS. I'm the transition coordinator, as she said, Renee Sansom Briscoe, and I mainly work with age 14 to 21, 22, right before the 21st, or right before the 22nd birthday. And mainly what I want to talk about is the services that we provide, and for people to go away knowing that, you know, a few nuggets of DRS. So Department of Rehabilitation Services serves students with disabilities with employment goals, right? We do pre-employment transition services where they're learning life skills, independent living, all those soft skills, hard skills, pre-employment transition skills that they're learning. So we have multiple programs. We also, I wanted everyone to know that you can apply for services at the age of 15 and a half. There is a 2-page application. Just because you turn the 2-page application in doesn't mean that the student won't have to, or the family won't have to fill out the rest of the application. But to actually get a case started, yes, you can turn in a 2-page application. It's on our website at www.okdrs.gov. You can print it there. We do not have the capability of online, just, you know, capturing it then and shooting an email, but we're working on that. Let's see. So programs, we offer things in the high schools like schoolwork study. You'll most often see it as SWS. We do work adjustment training, which you would also see as WAT. So schoolwork study is where the student can work at the school or a community provider, a community employer of some kind. And the school pays the student and DRS reimburses the school. So literally the school's out, they're not out money because we're reimbursing them. Obviously that first paycheck is going to be out of pocket with, you know, the upfront money, but then we're going to reimburse. The kids only work anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week. So at max, what is that? Like $125 a week. It's a great experience for them. We love to start with schoolwork study in the school and then blossom into having a community type based job where they're checking into employer. And then when that can turn into, you know, work site learning where the employer is actually paying them, and then DRS is not reimbursing because they're actually working for them. Our work adjustment training program is in the schools and with vendors. We currently have 16 across the state now, mostly in schools, where the schools have I'm just going to call it a resource center. I don't know, everybody's looks different, but they have a central place where those students can go and be housed for that day for, you know, learning. And then they take them out into the community and they do work-based learning throughout the day, up to 4 hours in the afternoon or 4 hours in the morning. And they provide them transportation. They're going to like Kohl's and folding clothes, and, you know, they're doing some of them, or they used to do in Norman where they went to Denny's and they did the silverware. There's a multitude of places. I'm actually here in Lawton right now, and they were talking about, they work with Habitat for Humanity and all these awesome places that they were going and having their students provide these work opportunities. These are unpaid experiences, but it's our hope in a, you know, utopia world that we would want our work adjustment training students to do like sophomore and junior year, and then blossom into doing a schoolwork study job where they could be on their own and not have to have a job coach. We know that's not always going to happen, but that's what we would love to happen. We also provide counseling and guidance in the schools. We do vocational evaluations. We do psychological evaluations. We have Project Search around the state. We actually have 8 locations currently, and in January we'll have a 9th location. Those are in, the 9th location will be in Tulsa. Tulsa Technology Center is partnered with St. Francis Hospital, and they're going to have an opportunity there. We have Enid, Moore, Norman, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa right now. So we have several opportunities in Oklahoma City and then more in Norman, Enid, and Tulsa. Where we would love to expand that. So if you have any ideas or thoughts, let us know. Judy Golston with OU and I are constantly seeking opportunities for openings of Project Search. We also have met with tribal liaisons across the state and National Project Search to try to see about having some partnerships with Tribal VR. If you're on here and you have a close connection with the Tribal VR, please let me know, and maybe we could start that conversation with them. We also have pre-employment transition services, what I mentioned earlier, we call it pre-ETS in the schools. We have a contract with OU. And when I say we, I mean DRS. And we, so these employees are employees of OU through the contract, and they're going to the schools and they're teaching these students, potentially eligible or eligible, the pre-employment transition skills that I mentioned earlier. We have 15 currently in the state that are employed by OU. I think we're wanting to expand a few more. We would love to have 50, but we don't. But we are working our way to getting more and more. We're also working with Career Techs so that the Career Tech can provide that opportunity for the pre-employment transition services. We are starting that already with Career Tech and Sapulpa, which is a Central Technology Center. And it's just a way to have more engagement with that particular venue with the Career Tech. And then that opens up doors for the students to have more opportunities at the Career Tech, more opportunities for employers to be involved. So that's our goal. We're all about collaborating and obviously employment. We also have some summer camps that I want to mention. Best Camp, which we had last year, is Building Employment Skills for Today, where students are just learning about those pre-employment skills. And they're learning how to write a resume, how to build a resume, how to talk to people, how to communicate. Then we have STEP, which is a summer transition employment program where they're actually working hands-on. And most generally, GALT is the one who helps pay those wages, and DRS reimburses GALT. And then we also have VIBE, which is visually impaired blindness empowerment. And we are already working on getting those camps started for next summer. We're very excited about that. I don't have the dates on top of my head right now for VIBE, but it's like I think it's the last week of June and the next to last week of July. And then Best Step is what we're going to do next summer. We're going to provide them the first week of instruction and then 3 to 4 weeks employment opportunity. So we're very excited about that. And let's see, what else should I tell you? We are here to, help foster any relationship with the schools, any vendors, clients, parents. We have a newsletter that if you're interested in getting, you can email me. And again, the PowerPoint will come to you. It has my email address on there. It comes out the first of every month. We have students that we're interviewing on a monthly basis and getting their insight to what employment is and what they're doing, and if they've accessed any services, things like that. Just a way to keep everybody in the loop. We attend IEP meetings. We can do that. We have a visually services for the blind and visually impaired department. We have a deaf and hard of hearing department, and we have a Hispanic outreach department. So we have a lot going on. Transition is the buzzword, and my word for the year for my staff was awareness. So we are really trying to increase awareness across the state with DRS, because one of my presentations that I do all the time is the best kept secret of Oklahoma. And that's clearly DRS, because no one ever knows about it. So anyway, does anyone have questions about what we do or how we can help? I would love to answer questions, and the PowerPoint will get sent to you. And I'm here for your every need, whatever you need.
I have a question, Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you guys do psych evaluations, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Do you guys offer those in like bilingual services, perhaps? Because that's been something I've been trying to find. Mhm.
We do have a, so we can contract with someone to be there as a translator to do that work,
Mhm.
or we have someone within our agency that's also a translator. I myself
Okay.
am bilingual. I can assist, but probably what we would do would hire multilingual to do something like
Mhm.
that, especially if they're a client. If they're not a client, then maybe we could figure out a way for our translator to help out with that. I don't know that we have a bilingual psychologist that we use, but we definitely have somebody
Right.
to be there to help translate.
Oh, that's awesome. And just the fact you guys do accommodations is great. Thank you so much.
No
Mm.
problem.
I'll,
Also,
I'll be reaching out.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. I didn't mention, and I just wanted to, that we also currently have contracts with NSU, Riverhawks program, and OU Sooner Works program to help participants who are on DRS caseloads, receive that form of education also. That's very, very exciting for us. So, any other questions?
Thank you so much, Renee. I'm sorry the PowerPoint thing didn't work out for you.
No worries.
I will definitely be putting it on the website at www.okcares.org. So thanks for
Cool.
popping
I
in
appreciate you.
while you're traveling today.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Next up, we have Jose Olivero from the Social Security Administration. Welcome, Jose.
Let me see if I can get this to work. Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. Let me get my deal going. All right, so where this, I know I can get this to work. All right. All right, well, Social Security, as you know, I will begin by telling you a little bit about the operational status of our offices. We continue to be close to the public at offices, and our staff continue to work remotely from home. We do have the ability to see a limited number of people physically at the office for dire need appointments. Dire need meaning, like you're getting evicted if you don't get this check today, kind of thing. Everything else is either done over the phone or by mail, and we understand that this is a difficult thing to do, especially for people who need replacement Social Security cards. The only way that you can do them in Oklahoma is by mailing in an application with your actual ID to the office. But in the last 2 months, we have opened the lobby where if you have some documents that you need to bring in or your application for a Social Security card, we have a drop box in the lobby. You can't talk to anybody. You can't physically go inside the office, but you can drop them off there. We can process whatever it is that you need, and we will mail it back, register mail. So if you find yourself in one of the situations, you are more than welcome to either contact the local office and ask them exactly what hours they're doing the lobby time. I physically am in the Moore office, and we're doing 9 to 4, Monday through Friday, to drop off documents that you need to drop off at Social Security. One of the things that we have come across, and basically my other 2 pictures in this PowerPoint, it talks about our numbers, how many people we have seen for disability and claims. And basically what we found that the numbers for disability applications and retirement applications have been pretty consistent the last 3 years throughout the nation. Some areas may have had a little bit more difficulty getting people in. I know that our big offices in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City and Tulsa have a bit of a waiting list. for retirement and disability applications. And of course, you can always do that online, but some people don't feel comfortable and want to actually speak to someone. And that is a process that's probably about 6 weeks behind in terms of appointments. But the one thing that we have noticed, and I'll show you these little numbers here, the number of completed supplemental security income applications. We only did about 137,000 nationwide. And that is a big concern for us because basically we're talking about vulnerable populations that for one reason or another are not reaching us. Either they're not capable of getting online, they don't have the computer access, they don't have cell phones. So we're talking about, homeless folks, people that are having all kind of difficulties at reaching to us. And so we started a vulnerable population outreach throughout our community to have community partners connect with us so we can give them like a little golden ticket when they have someone that needs an SSI application, that we will give these partners some training, short training on how to get through the system for us. We have actually identified and hired or promoted some out of our people to be vulnerable population liaisons at each office, and they will receive, they're able to receive special, when we have leads from organizations that have someone that fall within this category that need an SSI application. So we can put them at the top of the list and try to get them taken care of immediately. We do know that there's, like I said, some of the homeless population are harder to catch. And so we will put these organizations or individuals that want to be partners with us, give them a direct contact at a local office that, for instance, if you have a homeless person that need an application right then and there, that you can call this person and get this taken care of on the spot as much as possibly can. So as organizations, you're representing, if you would like to partner with us, send me an email or give me a call, and we can talk about training and helping you identify these people and get through to help these vulnerable populations. COLA came up these last couple of days, and so all those people receiving Social Security and SSI benefits are going to get almost a 6% pay raise next year. We're still pending on the Medicare numbers. However, the number of $158 a month for Part B has floated out, and we don't have that number for sure, but we will know that Medicare will also go up somewhat next year. We just released also the new online version for representatives and fee agreements and appointment of representatives. So this is a form that you can fill out online. And if you want to represent, individuals that apply for benefits with Social Security, you can have this form filled out, send it in to us, we'll process it. And this would allow you to, as a third-party person, to follow up and be able to get updates on claims or appeals that are pending with Social Security. So this is a new, really fast way for people to assist folks that are needing assistance. Like I said, the Social Security cards via mail, drop boxes at the offices. We at this point, we'll be honest with you, we had some meetings this week, and headquarters for Social Security in Baltimore and special staff like myself are going to be returning to work at the offices and headquarters at the beginning of December. Our employees will start transitioning back to work to the offices sometime around January. So sometime after that, the offices will start opening up to the public. We don't know what that's going to look like. if it's going to be by appointment only or some other arrangements will be made. As you probably already know, we don't have room for social distancing in our lobbies, and once we open the door, it's always wall-to-wall people. So we're going to have to work around those issues as well. But we finally see some light at the end of the tunnel in terms of offices being or individuals and employees being redeployed back to the offices. The trust fund report came out last month, and it shows that by 2034, the trust fund will be run dry, which means that people will receive about a 21% pay cut in their Social Security checks starting in 2035, unless Congress act and do something about fixing the system. As you know, Social Security don't have the authority to do that, but we encourage everyone to call their elected officials and encourage them to do something about fixing this. The sooner the better, of course. Like I said, our numbers for this past year have been pretty good. You can see that we're paying about 73 million beneficiaries across the nation. And the issue of Social Security cards, as you can see, we issued 13 million new and replacement cards just last year. 11 million of them were done by mail, which means that, and we have had no reports of any documents being lost. And I know people, are afraid to, send in their driver's license or their passport or whatnot. But we so far, knock on wood, we haven't had any of those. But 2 million of them were replaced online. And as you know, Oklahoma does not have the Real ID system set up. Yes, for a small fee, you can go get a Real ID card, but it's not connected to anything in the federal system. So it's not really working. But once that gets done, people would also be able to replace their Social Security by just going online. And so, as you can see, the numbers are pretty good. The ones that, like I said, is concerning to us is that supplemental income. So we are doing everything we can to reach out to vulnerable populations. And if you have, a desire to learn more about this, and your organization want to be one of our trusted partners, we can either train you to take some claims or set you up so you can connect directly to our local representatives in your area, and add you to our trusted email partnership, which would allow you to send Social Security numbers, address, and telephone numbers, and all that information directly to Social Security once we set you up in place. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Jose, there is a question in the chat. Any idea how a person could get a replacement Social Security card if they do not have an ID?
You cannot get a Social Security card without an ID. That is federal law. Homeland Security established that after 9/11, and it's just that simple.
What about, it says this is for an adult with Alzheimer's that has a court-appointed guardian. Does that change the situation?
We need to have a picture ID for that person. That's just that simple. I'm sorry, but there's no exception in the statute.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We'll be sharing Jose's PowerPoint on the website. Jose, would you mind putting your contact information into the chat as well?
No, you can send. I think you have my cell phone. I'm probably the only federal official that you will find that will give you his cell phone. So don't hesitate to use it. If I don't have an answer, I certainly know people that can answer your questions. So I'll be glad to take your calls.
That's awesome. Would you mind putting that in the chat for us?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have one more speaker, and this is going to be Julie Lackey, and we're still going to have the gift card drawing after Julie is done. So thank you for hanging on, and I know we're going over a little bit because the other session ran over, but I'm excited to hear what Julie has for us. Take it away, Julie.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. This is a great opportunity. I love the theme that we had of hope. I was in attendance of a conference years and years ago, and they talked about that really what families, caregivers, agency professionals, et cetera, always need to be able to stress to families is there's hope, there's help out there. And so I appreciate this conference. So can everybody see my PowerPoint okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Just want to be sure. Yes, okay, awesome. All right. So what this is about is inclusive post-secondary education programs. There are all kinds of services out there. You've heard of many different types already. This is going to focus on the possibility of what's after high school. If your student, child, client wants to continue their education, what's out there? So Lead, Learn, Live is a nonprofit that has the mission that we partner with universities. We facilitate collaboration between all these different agencies that you heard from, as well as many more, to provide a better life for students with intellectual or developmental disabilities. We are all about relationship building, and we don't get anywhere without each other. And so, okay, I'm going to start my timer because I can talk. So there you go. We don't get anywhere without each other, and so it takes all of us to get there. We primary partners for us is Sooner Success and DRS. They came alongside of us early on, and we also have, excuse me, national ties with an agency organization called Think College. They are the overseers of federally funded programs for inclusive post-secondary education, as well as a clearinghouse and a great resource for these programs in our nation. I just attended the yearly national conference for Think College sponsors, and it was amazing. Just shows you how much this effort is growing. There were over 600 online participants for a virtual conference. That is crazy. And over 29 breakout groups, you know, all over the nation represented. They had a coinciding student leadership conference, which was amazing, which was all about the students that attend these programs and hear their stories and hear from them. And so the relationship aspect of all of this is what makes everything work. And everybody on this call is part of that, as far as I'm concerned. So does it matter? Well, it really pretty much does. So Oklahoma Works, 2014 study, they redid the study in 2017. The numbers really didn't change. About 46% of Oklahomans have a high school diploma or less, and 70% of Oklahoma jobs and more, actually in the 2017 study, will require education and training over and above high school by 2025. You guys, 2022 is a couple months away, so we are almost there. So the more education or training that we can have, the better outcome for employment we can have. And so this after high school picture right here, statistics all over the place. I saw one in the national range yesterday that was giving after high school about 17 to 25% of individuals with disabilities are employed in any fashion. That means 2 hours to 40 hours, right? That's employment, I say with a little e. And studies now show hard data that 64% and above of students that complete these inclusive post-secondary education programs have competitive integrated employment. And what that means is they're able to have a job that they have been trained for because they want to do that job. And they've been educated in that area because they want to be educated in that area, and they are doing the job that they want to do. So what do we have in Oklahoma? Oh my gosh, I just love doing any conference because see, we didn't have anything until 2018. And so 2018, we started, we were able to partner with Northeastern State in Tahlequah and partnered to bring about the Riverhawk Scholar Program. That is a 4-year certificate program for students with intellectual developmental disabilities. It is modeled after actually the premier program in the nation in the Southeast, which is REACH at College of Charleston. Their numbers, you heard that 65% number, their numbers are 90% employment. So just saying. So independent living, social skills, academics, and career development. Those are, think of a table. Those are the 4 legs of that table. They're the 4 pillars of these programs that Lead, Learn, Live focuses on. Why? Because we know that all 4 of those zones of living intersect to help you have the best life. So independent living, what does that look like? The students live on campus, they are in dorms, they have roommates, they get along with people, they don't get along with people, they sleep through class, they learn how to do time management, they learn how to do laundry, all the things that we learn how to do independent living. These students are doing in a dorm setting just like any other student. Social skills, students with intellectual developmental disabilities all need extra support with learning how to do social. And so there are mentors that come alongside those students and hang out. It's not a para, they're not, you know, an older person in special education, they are friends. And so they eat lunch with them, they hang out with them, they go to parties, and they just do life. So social skills, very important. It's also very important to us to add a physical fitness component to the Lead, Learn, Live partner programs, because once you establish healthy ways of living early on, that tends to stick. And so there are also physical fitness mentors that just do something active with those students. Doesn't mean they have to go to the gym, get all sweaty. They could walk, they could swim, they could do anything that is physically active. Academics, okay, if you want to go to college, you do want to continue to learn. That is not for everybody. It's not supposed to be. But for those students that want to do that, they are taking 2 course catalog courses of interest from the regular course catalog, just like any other student. They also are taking a what's called an RSP Riverhawk Scholar Program course, which is extra help with healthy relationships, with financial fitness, for transportation, for all the things that our students with intellectual developmental disabilities need a little bit more on-hands help with. Career development is that 4th pillar, because really what this is about is able to be as independent as possible and able to have a job that you love. And so career development, there are paid internships that are frankly courtesy of DRS. A huge partner on this. They students work 10 hours a week starting their 2nd semester on campus, and they are learning how to be an employee. You know, that also could mean they fail sometimes, and you know what, that's okay, because the programs are there to help these students learn how to be their best. And so again, NSU Riverhawks is a 4-year certificate program. OSU is our next partner university program. It is slated to start fall of 2022. We are so excited. It is a different model than NSU because it is a 2-year basic with a 2-year advanced option. It also is targeting students that need a little extra help than the Riverhawk Scholar Program students. Not as heavy on the academic area, but very heavy on functional living and functional academics. And so same 4 pillars, same 4 legs on that table. Independent living, they are in the dorms with roommates. They do have the mentors on social skills. They are joining clubs. They are doing everything every other student does. Academics, again, just a little bit different focus, but they are still learning. They are still taking tests, doing homework, all the things that means academics. And they are engaging in internships to learn how to be employees. So we are very, very excited to have these choices in Oklahoma. There are more options in Oklahoma, and the Oklahoma Inclusive Post-Secondary Education Alliance is new to the scene, but we are going to be really pushing the information out there with new ways to get this information out to families, schools, universities, everything. And so University of Oklahoma has Sooner Works, very, very much like the NSU Riverhawk Scholar Program, very similar program. University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma has a 4-year degree seeking, that is for students on the autism spectrum. And in the future, very, very important to have more options, because these programs only take from 5 to 10 students a year. There are approximately 1,750 or so students with intellectual developmental disabilities that graduate that are interested in the possibility of post-secondary. Obviously, we need more programs, more choices. And so we are talking to more universities. We're talking to tech centers. We would love to have an in with the community college. If anyone can get me there, I'll get there. But we really do need choices. And we need choices that are also not residential, because some students can't or are not interested in living away from home. And that option needs to be there for those students. I always show this in every single presentation because, well, most everyone, because this is really the deal. This is the reason why we do what we do. These are the first 5 students in the first program in Oklahoma at NSU. And that is what this is all about. It's for students to be able to go after and live their dream and what they want to do. I will close with what was an amazing moment at the conference that I just attended, this national conference. There was a young man that won an award, an advocacy award. He was a senior. He's at Georgia Tech, and it is a program just like what I just described. When he was 4, his mom was given the diagnosis. He had intellectual developmental disability. He would never live on his own. He would never have a job. He would have to have all these supports and services his entire life. Basically, it was an incredibly difficult sentence that his mom was given. And so, this young man is at Georgia Tech. He's a senior. He has been all over the nation as an advocate. He is living in an apartment on his own. And so he has an intellectual disability. And so, I just would encourage everyone that, hope is a capital H. And there is always options out there for students to be able to figure out what they want to be and live their best life. So, okay, 10 minutes, 21 seconds, Eva.
You did super. Thank you so much. That was great information. And I know Julie's happy to visit with anybody that wants more information. And so thank you so much for coming, Julie. And I apologize to everyone that we ran over today, but I'm glad you all stayed on until the end. We would appreciate you filling out the evaluation when you get it by email. And then I have been told that our winner for this session for the Walmart gift card is Carrie Young. So just congratulations, Carrie. I wanted to let you know that we will be sending that to you by mail to the address for which you registered. So congratulations, and thank you guys all for coming and sticking it out past the 3 o'clock time.
Thank you, Eva. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.